Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about fear and just some reasons why a lot of people don't reach purpose because of fear, and we're going to talk about just our individual experiences with fear. So I want my friend to introduce herself and then we're going to jump right into the topic.
So hello everyone, my name is Kendra Kinney. I am a member at OCBF with Siobhan, and I'm just happy to be here.
Okay. Cool, that's all you want to say?
That's all I gotta say, girl.
That's all she gotta say, child. Keep it short and brief.
Short and simple.
Yeah, so I wanted to give 3 points on why people don't reach purpose because of fear. So the first one is fear of failure or fear of success. So I wanted to just make the point of that just being probably one of the biggest reasons why people don't walk in purpose because of that. They fear that they're not good enough to do a project. They fear that they're going to fail. Maybe they don't have the viewers or the audience that they want. And as far as fear of success, I feel like they have that social pressure of, okay, I've exceeded in this area, I've done very well in this area, and they're expecting me to continue to perform. And so that holds a lot of people back to just the societal pressures of doing better and meeting certain expectations. The second one is procrastination, kind of masked as busyness. So I know that's something that's personal for me. I'm a huge procrastinator because I am afraid of fear and failure. I'm afraid of failure. So for me, my experience is I will procrastinate. I will make a list of some of the things that I need to do, and then once I get to the really big piece of what I need to do, I'll skip over it. I might add a whole nother different assignment on it because I'm afraid. So I will kind of procrastinate and just step over it every time it's time to complete that task. And the third is let's see, I got my notes because y'all know my mind be going blank. Perfectionism, and that's another big one. Struggle with perfectionism, and I mean that's kind of normal just because of the society we live in and just the certain pressures that I told you about in the beginning, just societal pressures and just meeting certain expectations. You know, we have to have everything right, and if we fail, we're not good at it. Like, who even said that we're not good at something just because we mess up? So perfectionism can be a huge one of why we don't reach purpose and why we have a huge fear. And I wanted Kendra to come on and just kind of share some of the things that provoked like fear and anxiety for her. We're going to just both share just some of our personal stories. So whenever you want to talk.
So for me, if I can describe my experience with fear, I would have to describe it as being in like an emotionally abusive relationship. And what I mean by that is fear. Once I encountered it, and I encountered it really young, it basically changed my whole perspective of who I am. So I started to fear rejection. I started to fear acceptance based on my physical appearance. So I'll say around the age of, I think it was like 11 or 12, somewhere like that, I had a family member who came into town, and you know, it's my summer break, so you know, I just had a whole year of physical education, so I wasn't trying to, work out and things. And so she was like, hey, y'all want to go work out? And she was talking to me and my 2 older sisters, and I'm like, oh no, bro, I'm trying to, play, watch TV, do all this. And so she pokes me in my midsection and she says to me, well, you need to work out, look at all of that. And so in that moment, I began to cry, and it was that moment that fear took root in my life, and then it started to grow, and then it morphed into things like self-esteem issues, lack of confidence, just anything that would keep me from being rejected. I would definitely go the other way. I was not going to go through it. And so my natural desires, things that I wanted to do that meant that I would need to be in the front, I would shy away from it because I was so afraid that I would be rejected based on the way that I looked.
Wow, yeah. That's deep. I feel like you are like my kindred spirit. I always tell her.
We talked about that.
Yeah, I always tell her that because I literally had the same experience. It wasn't where somebody poked me in the midsection, but it was just as deep and hurtful for me. It was I want to say the summertime as well. I was a teenager. I don't remember exactly how old. I think I was about maybe around the same age, about 14, 15. And I'm not going to say the person, but she meant well, you know. And she was like, you know, Siobhan, you probably should start working out. You know, you gain weight in your midsection. Maybe you want to work out with me. And she'd go work out and she'd try to invite me. And I wasn't motivated because, one, I'm one of those people like, don't tell me what to do, bro.
Listen,
don't tell me what to do, bro. I want to do it on my own. If I want to work out, let me work out. If I want to choose this type of workout to do, let me do that. So I'll try to go and work out with her. And it was just super controlling. It was just like, oh, you need to be doing this so you can lose this. And it's just like, let me just do what I want to do. Like, I want to do some high kicks. I don't want to do lunges right now. Like, that's besides the point. But that experience for me actually made me fear the same thing. Like, fear of rejection, fear of being in the front. Like you said, I was one of those people like, I'll work the camera, I'll be behind, like I'll do this, and people would try to push me to the front, and I didn't want to do all that. So that created an insecurity within myself as well, where it was just fear of rejection, fear of how I looked, insecurities and self-esteem, like, oh, they don't want to talk to me because I'm the big girl. They don't want to talk to me because I'm the dark girl. And so I always ruled myself out before anybody could rule me out because of that insecurity. And I always joked on myself or cracked on myself before somebody can get to it. And, you know, it would be funny, but sometimes it wouldn't be funny. They'd be like, okay, bro, like, why are you talking about yourself like that? And, you know, I kind of laugh at it, but I was so used to it because I didn't want anybody to say it first because I felt like it would hurt more. So let me go ahead and say it and kind of keep covering the wound instead of addressing it. But that made me walk in fear for so long as well, just fear of walking in my purpose, because it was like, okay, God, you called me to do this, but now I have to be in the front. I have to be on camera, and I don't want to be on camera because what are they gonna think of me? What if I mess up? I'm not perfect. What if I don't look the type to start a YouTube? What if I don't write or use the certain like grammar? Like, ain't nobody looking at all that. I had to realize like nobody's looking at all that, but fear will attack your mind to make you think, and the devil will attack your mind to make you think you're not good enough for X, Y, and Z because of that deep root insecurity that probably happened for us in our teenage years. So I'm glad that she expressed just her feelings with fear and her experience with it. So Kendra, so how has society enhanced your fears? Like, if you've dealt with something like that present, or if that was just more of the past?
You know what, it's something that I deal with even now. Now, I will say when I was younger, it was kind of like, you know, for instance, so I say whatever. So that was the one thing that I held on to, because if you think about it, if we think about big girls in the church, what's the thing that, oh, big girl can sing, right? So for me, it was like, oh, so I'm accepted in this arena, so I'm just going to take this, and this is what I'm going to hold on to, and this is where I'm going to be because I'm comfortable there. And it wasn't until when God stripped that away from me, he stripped my confidence somewhat in that, to where it was like, okay, now I'm not singing, like, now I don't have an avenue. Like, now what am I supposed to do? Like, God, why are you taking this away from me? But I understand now why he's doing it. But I will say, even though it was more so of a harder thing back then, now it's still kind of hard, but it's like I've learned to push through. I've learned to call a lie and the truth. You know, I learned to look at myself the way that God sees me, because if I don't, I'm going to always fold, and I'm always going to be like, so now it's like I'm having to be in a season where I'm saying, okay, yes, even if it's something I don't want, like this is so not my thing, I'm going to say yes, because number one, I'm uncomfortable. It scares the crap out of me, but the only way I'm going to get to the other side of fear is if I meet it head on and then kick its butt.
Yes.
Simple.
Pushing through.
Yes.
Pushing through.
That's the only way. For me, I'll say.
I think that's a good thing. I feel like that's the only way to combat fear, is just to face it head on, just like she said. I mean, a lot of people, we continue to mask it with things, we run away from it, and then the cycle just continues, and fear just continues to cripple us, and it builds, and we'll get older and we're not even confident in who we are. We're not resourceful with what God gave us. So that's pretty big. I wanted to, this is kind of like steering off topic a bit, but I wanted to go back to what you said, how he stripped that platform for you from you, and so you were kind of questioning God. So I wanted to talk about just how you felt when you felt like that leader or whoever it was, stripped your comfort zone singing for you, from you. Like, how did you feel, and were you mad at God? Were you mad at the individual?
So it really wasn't an individual, it was definitely God. God definitely did it for me. And I'm not going to say he stripped it from me, but he knew that was the one thing that I was holding on to. I was holding on to it for dear life. And if I would define myself, it was, I'm a singer. Like, nothing else mattered to me but just the fact that I had the gift of singing and that I was cool with doing it. But so before I moved here, I was living in Nashville, and so I was singing all the time. I mean, days, weeks, everywhere.
Is that where you're from?
I'm originally from Tennessee. I'm from Jackson, Tennessee,
okay.
but I'm at Tennessee State, Tennessee State University or whatever. And there, I got in choirs, and I met like a lot of different people, and I had a lot of opportunities to sing with, different people. I mean, we were singing at concerts everywhere, so I was literally doing my thing, and I was really loving studio. I wasn't making that much money, but it was my heart. Like, I liked it. And so right after graduating college, I moved here because I ended up getting another job. And so when I moved here, I'm like, okay, great. I'm moving to Dallas. I'm meeting new people. But the difference here was, when I got here, it wasn't easy for me to penetrate these circles of singers. It was very, very hard. And so I'm like, okay. And so I really wasn't meeting a lot of people. And so it was literally God secluded me. So for probably about a year or two, I did not sing. So go from singing all the time to moving to Dallas thinking this is about to be a whole nother new life. I'm about to have so much great time. I'm about to join church and all this different stuff. So you're doing nothing. So I was literally like, okay, God, what is this? Like, what are you doing to me? Like, why did you move me here to be by myself? Like, I was so upset with him because I was like, this is all I got. And it was in that moment where he told me, that is not all you have. This is all you've held on to, because this is what you said. This is what I got to be, because this is where society or people accept me. This is where I feel needed. This is where I feel like I'm enough. But I'm way more. He told me I'm way more than this. Like, you're way more than your voice. You have so many gifts that you've diminished and suppressed based on what you thought people would see on the outside. Because I always thought, from that moment of me encountering fear, I always thought that nobody would ever go beyond the surface of me. Nobody would ever really get to know the real Kendra. It's just like, you're going to see me and then you're going to judge me. That's just going to be it. So I was really upset with God.
That is
very upset with him.
That is so cool. I mean, it's so hurtful and so hard when God strips things to show us ourselves.
Exactly.
I've had a similar experience, and it's not easy, but it's helpful and so beneficial in the long run. So what were some of those things that you learned about yourself? Like, okay, he took this from me, and God was saying you have many other talents other than singing. So what were some of those things that you learned about yourself?
The first thing coming out of the gate was, I learned that I had the gift of teaching. And let me tell you
Teach
something.
me singing.
Listen. Oh, sure, girl. Actually, I'm not that great, but whatever. But and it was like, and another thing, I was like, no, wait a minute, Jesus. No, she ain't no teacher. Like, I am not a teacher. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do, like, no, that's not my thing. And so I remember, and I was telling my mentor, I was like, the crazy thing is, I remember when I was younger, and my mom said to me, she said, I just knew you were going to be a teacher. And I was like, and now it's starting to dawn on me, because now it's like God is pulling me to this place. So then at that point, I ended up, becoming a facilitator for a small group. So that was kind of like my very first experience, and I'm still doing it, whatever now. But like, it was just like, okay, so I'm not just this. And so even in that, once I realized that was one of my gifts, it was like, okay, like, I'm just gonna leave singing alone, because now I'm hurt over here. I don't want to deal with that anymore. I'll just sing on praise and be done. Like, I'm not gonna do no extra whatever. But he had to remind me, no, it's a gift. You can still operate in a gift, but that's not all that's to you. There's so much more in there. You just have to go back and you have to really pull up all that mess. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like, when it's one thing that I've learned is that my healing is in my dealing with all of that stuff. It's in my dealing. And so even though I have to deal with it, it's going to hurt when I pull all that mess up. But the fact of the matter is once I pull it up, I'm pulling up the root. So I don't really have to deal with that anymore. Once I get through it, now I'm on the other side. Now I've healed. Now I've learned whatever God is trying to show me. And now I can move forward.
That is so good. And I mean, I feel like we already segued into like the last question that I have for you, which is,
how did you overcome your fear? But you already said that you just hit it head on, even though it was hard, even though it was tough. She hit it head on, and I think that's the only way to do it. And I can say that for myself, like with me having the fear of just starting this platform and starting a YouTube and a blog and a website and just all of that, all the scary things, I had to hit it head on. So I had to realistically set out time every day, or at least, I mean, because sometimes every day can be a lot, so maybe a few times a week, but work on that craft for at least 30 minutes a day where I'm accomplishing something. And so that's what I had to tell myself, one, to get comfortable in what I was doing, to get confirmation from God, like, okay, God, you opened another door, this is what you want me to do, and slowly start building that. So I think that's true, like hitting it head on. And you know, everybody is different and everybody has different fears, but I think just facing it, because it's a really deep-rooted issue, depending on what your fear is a deep-rooted issue. It's a whole bigger meaning. So hitting it head on is the biggest thing. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I think I'm good. You have any more questions?
Can you sing something?
No shit.
Like, just like,
who said that was my comfort zone?
I mean, just like 1A count.
What you want though? Like, I don't even, like, you could have prepared me for this.
I know. Do you know, I don't know, just sing whatever you think. Just like an 8 count.
An 8 count? I don't even.
Maybe 2 8 counts.
You're so bad. Okay. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God be the glory for the things that He has done. There you go. You put me on the spot, man.
What key was that? Can I check?
Listen, we better get a piano and ding, ding, ding. Figure it out. That'll work.
Wait, what was the word?
To God be the glory.
To God be the glory.
Yes. Oh, amen.
I'm gonna stop right there.
Yes.
So, thank y'all for watching my video. I'm going to definitely tag her Instagram in the description bar. I'm gonna also just put it across the screen so you can follow her on Instagram.
Thank you.
She's beautiful. She's fabulous. She's fun. She's fine. Like, honey, she my friends. And I just want y'all to come back. Like, I want y'all to come back because I'm going to be doing a lot more videos. And I also have a really cool segment that I'm about to start. So please stay tuned, like and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time.
Bye.